aspettami.
Aspetta un minuto.
Sì. Ok, c'è il solito ritardo, perfetto.
Devi vedere, cavaliere.
No, il microfono però.
Vale, però attacchiamo qui e proviamo a... L'obiettivo è farlo prendere. No, dottoressa. Non serve questo.
Sì, dobbiamo capire come funzionarli per farli venire.
Sto mettendo questo.
Quindi è venuto a mettere in una mezz'ora.
Posso?
Ascolta, mettiamo qua. Mauro. Sì.
Vale, lanciami il video. Così proviamo l'audio. Aspetta, eh?
No, non tolto io. Aspetta, mi scuso io Laura, un attimo.
Perché sei al contrario? Oggi il contrario non sei serio. Ruota l'iPad. Non ce l'hai una cosa... Non blocca la funzione non gira lui. Vedi che ruota. È al contrario. Come si dice il blocco? Posso non utilizzare la funzione di... Cosa è bloccato? Giusto? Quindi faccio così. Dai. Diretta. Connessione in corso. No, questo è diretta. È blocato. Dai. Giriamo. Sgancia quel cavo. Leva il cavo. Leva. Si metterlo così. Ce la fa.
C'è modo di mettere il taglio nella presentazione?
Non c'è?
Il taglio nella presentazione?
Sei importante questo. Va bene lo stesso. Va bene qua. Lei si deve spostare?
No, vabbè, ormai proviamo 3 quarti.
Con questa luce?
Okay. Good morning to everyone. We will start the session of this
No, era spento.
Era spento. Okay. Good morning to everyone. The section of today we start with Dr. Valentina Di Felice. She's a lecturer of human anatomy at the University of Palermo. She has been my scientific mentor from when I was undergraduate to until now. She's continued to be my mentor. And I met her when I was, I presume, high school. She was one of the members of my triathlon club. So we grew up together doing sport, and after we moved in science. So it's a real pleasure to introduce her, that she will speak about nutrition and physical activity. Thank you. Please.
Thank you. We'll start. I will start with a video.
Nutrition, obesity, on keeping fit. Not as good as I thought. Oh, this feels better. Time to go again. Football is the real thing for me. A little push at an early age certainly makes a big difference. All this running and football, I feel I really deserve a treat. The guideline daily amounts are also worth exploring. Let's see here. GDA 2,000 kilocalories. Besides fat, the sodium 2.4 grams. And finally, salt 6 grams. It turns out you don't need to train heavily. Baby steps work just fine. Take my bike more often to go see my friends. Take the stairs. I needed this break. Maths and physics weren't easy today. Newton is out.
So, good morning. As Filippo said before, my name is Valentina Di Felice. I work for the University of Palermo. I am a researcher of the university, but I work also in the Euro-Mediterranean Institute for Science and Technology. The video you saw is from a past European project funded. And in the project we wrote that we have to show the past videos of the funded programs. I found a nice website from the European Food Information Council, and I will show you. This is the website. It's very nice because in this website you can find a lot of information on nutrition, on the intakes of the different macronutrients. Even if you don't find information of the different societies which are present in the different countries. But you will find information on European projects, funded European projects. I also included the links here. Probably you will have the presentation, so it will be easier for you to go there. And here, as you can see, there are many projects funded from the European Commission about healthy food, nutrition and exercise. There are a lot of projects funded here, and everyone has got a video, but unfortunately I could not register or anyway download a video to show you. In this website there is also a nice thing. There is a booklet which I suggest you to download. It's new. It's a quiz, a very nice quiz for kids that probably you can provide to children during the sport week. It's written in 12 languages, and as you can see, it's also written in Turkish, so it will be really useful for you. And of course, this is the result of a funded project. And it will be, I think, very nice to provide this quiz during the sport week. Because you have to capture the attention of the kids and to explain them why they should eat less, eat well, and exercise more. Of course, we are Sicilian, and fortunately, this is the birthplace of the Mediterranean diet. My presentation is about Mediterranean diet because we are here, we're in Sicily, and also in the United States, the Department of Health and Human Services suggested to eat like the Mediterranean diet. The same values, the same nutrition intakes suggested in Italy by the Italian Society for Nutrition. My reference is the LARN 2014, which is a reference book produced by the Italian Society of Human Nutrition, where you will find all the information I will show you in this presentation, and which are the base of the Mediterranean diet. This is similar to a pyramid. Probably you know the pyramid, the food pyramid, which are present in many websites and books. And also in our diet we suggest to eat every day 2 servings of fruit, 1 to 2 servings of seeds and nuts, 4 or 5 servings of vegetables, 3 servings of beans and lentils, and 5 or 6 servings of grains and starchy vegetables. Children tend to eat grains, bread, baked sweets. They tend to eat fruit. Sometimes they tend to eat fruit, seeds and nuts, but they don't like to eat vegetables. We also should explain to children that they should eat the seasonal products. Here is a diagram where you will find the products which are present in each season, like spring, summer, autumn and winter. And in the center there are the products which are present in every season. Unfortunately today, freezing food, it's easy to obtain everything, to eat everything every time. But in our week of sport, we should explain to children that they should eat only some products in a particular time of the year. The Italian Society for Nutrition and also other societies define the quantity of the servings I showed you before. Like milk, milk should be a quantity of 125 ml per serving, yogurt 125 grams, fresh cheese 100 grams, hard cheese 50 grams, red meat 100 grams, white meat 100 grams, fresh fish 150 grams, eggs 50 grams. Considering that actually the suggestion to eat meat is to eat at least 3-4 times fresh fish during a week, no more than 2 times red meat, and above all white meat, I mean like chicken or pork. And eggs only once a week. This is the suggestion for the Mediterranean diet. Also, there are servings for fresh lentils, 150 grams, bread, 50 grams, pasta rice, 80 grams. And here on, baked sweets and croissant, 50 grams, cereals, 30 grams, potatoes, 200 grams, but here I've just added what children usually eat. You will find many other informations in the tables of the Italian Society for Nutrition, or even in the publications from the Department of the USA, because they follow the same nutrition advices of the Italian Society of Nutrition. Salads should be a serving of 80 grams, vegetables 200 grams, fresh fruit 150 grams, seeds and nuts 30 grams, olive oil and seed oil 10 ml, butter 10 grams, water, this is only a serving of course, 200 ml, fruit juices, cold tea 200 ml, sugar 5 grams, only marmalade 20 grams, cakes, ice cream and sweets 100 grams, snacks and chocolate 30 grams. So you can eat almost everything. It depends only on the quantity you have during a day, because the servings are per day. And this should be explained to children. They can eat almost everything, but they have to eat more of one product and less than other products. Also, sugar is permitted in a children's diet, but in the right quantity. This is a table of the calories needed for children between 6 years old and 11 years old, which is the target of our project, of our sport project. Here you will find the weight the baby should have. And here is the basal metabolism, and on the other side you find different calories intakes, which depends on the percentile of the baby. I don't know if you know what is a percentile, but it's a table where you can find the weight and the age of children. Usually children, by the physicians, they are weighted and their size is measured, because they will find on this table which is the percentile of the baby. If the percentile is beneath the 15th percentage, the 15th percentile, they are underweight. If they are they have a value between the 15th and the 18th percentile, they are normal weight. Over the 25th percentile, they are overweight. Of course, depending on the percentile, there is a different calorie intake. There is less calorie intake for children, thin children, while when a children is overweight, he needs more calories. This not considering that the control of the weight. I mean, if you have to control the weight and to tell a baby that he has to eat less because he has to weight less, of course you don't have to consider these calorie intakes. In this table is shown the total water intake recommended per day. For babies between 4 and 6 years old is 1,600 ml per day. For children between 7 and 10 years old is 1,800 ml per day. Carbohydrates should be considered as for percent of energy requirements of 45-60%. Total fiber should be 8.4 grams per 1,000 kilocalories intake per day, and the fat should be considered for an intake of 20-35% of the total calories required in a day. In the fat, we have to distinguish between saturated and polyunsaturated fats. Of course, as you know, it's better to eat less saturated fats and more, the right quantity of polyunsaturated fats, which should be 5-10% of the energy intake recommended. Here is the protein intake. The protein intakes are calibrated on the weight of the children. And there is, of course, a difference between young children for 6 years old and the oldest ones, 11-14 years old. From here on, you will also find always a difference between male and female, only when the baby is over 11 years old. When the baby is between 4 and 10 years old, the intakes are exactly the same. There is also a large difference between young children and 11 years old children, because as you can see, it's more than double of the requirement of proteins. Of course, it depends on the size. 11 years old babies and children, because they are 11 years old, they need, of course, more calories, more proteins, and more of everything. This is expressed in grams per day, so of course it is a double of the quantity of a baby of 6 years old. This is the table which is available on the internet of the Food and Nutrition Board of the Institute of Medicine of the National Academies of Sciences of USA. I have shown you this table because, as you can see, here we have exactly the same percentages the Italian Society of Nutrition suggested for the Mediterranean diet. And as I told you, also Americans decided that the Mediterranean diet is a wealthy way of eating also for the Americans. Then there are, of course, vitamins which are very important. The most common, of course, vitamin C, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, papatic acid, vitamin B6. In these tables, you will find almost in all the columns a difference about the double difference that you saw before for everything. Like vitamin C, there is a requirement of 90 milligrams per day or 80 milligrams per day in 11 years old children, compared to 6 years old children, which is only 45 milligrams per day. Also thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, and vitamin B6. The difference in the levels of the different vitamins, as you can see here, we are talking about 90 milligrams per day compared to riboflavin or thiamine, which are very low quantity compared to vitamin C. This depends on the quantity we are able to intake and the level of these vitamins in our blood. The levels of we need to live every day. And there are other vitamins like biotin, folate, vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And here is there is also a double of the value, like 15 and 25, 170, 350, except for vitamin D, which is always 55 micrograms per day. So vitamin D is the same value for everyone. Also in the minerals there are very high differences between 6 years old baby and 11 years old baby, like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, but iron, as you can see, there is a difference on the other way. I mean, children with 6 years old need 11 milligrams per day of iron, while 11 years old need 10 milligrams per day. Something different is for females, because from 11 years old and so on, you know that there is, of course, a difference between male and female. And these are the values for zinc. Also, in this case, the value is higher than 6 years old baby, but there is a difference between males and females. Here are the minerals like copper, selenium, iodide, magnesium, molybdenum, and chromium. And it is the same. It is very difficult to explain to children, of course, each level of minerals, each level of vitamins, but if in the week of sport you prepare jokes like this, and this is a shark, it's a very nice shark made up with fruit. During the sport week, if you provide the fruit, I mean, vegetables is different, but you can also provide like carrot sticks with hummus, or it depends on your diet. Of course, I know I have been many times in Turkey. I know that there is a different diet, probably different from Spain and Portugal, and probably it's difficult to adapt our Mediterranean diet to the Turkish style of eating. But I think that you will find some information of my table which may be similar to the National Society of Turkish for Nutrition. But fruit, of course, is eaten also in Turkey, so I don't think you will find so differences for food. I don't know if Filippo has considered the possibility to introduce food in the sport week, but for example, my child is at school all the time until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually eat what the school gives to him. What they eat is decided by the nutritionist of the school, and so they usually eat well when they are at school. When he comes back home, he just opens the freezer and said, I want an ice cream or everything he can find at home. So probably in the sport week it will be easier to do this, because they are used to eat in a particular way when they are at school. It's something different maybe for season in Palermo, because in Palermo many schools close at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the children do not eat at school, but probably in the other countries they do. Sugar, as I told you before, is permitted in a diet of children. These are the quantities permitted. For a child for 6 years old, 19 grams per day. 7-10 years old, 24 grams. From 11 years old on, 30 grams, which are are the same as 5, 6, and 7 teaspoons. There is room for sugar, of course, in the diet of the children, but not too much. And sparkling beverages like Coke, like Fanta, and other drinks, they should be only an occasion. They shouldn't drink Coke every day or every time. And they shouldn't eat sweets every day, like I don't remember the name in English. Le caramelle. Candies. There is a bad habit in the Italian schools, I don't know in other countries, that teachers, to keep them quiet, if you are quiet, I will give you a candy. I don't know in other countries, but they do in Italy. No, they don't do that. And this is of course awful because they can develop dental decay very early in their life. And this is what is happening to my children and to the children of the same class of my children's, because they used to do this. And I'm also saying that because my husband is a dentist, and this is curing every baby of the class of my children. And this is unusual, because if you consider the past generations, it was not so frequent to have dental decay in very young babies. And also for the dentist, it's very difficult to cure babies of 2 years old, 3 years old. Even if today you can go to an hospital for children, a children's hospital, and sometimes you will find a facility also for very young children. So it is very important to explain them that they shouldn't eat so much sugar in their diet. There are, of course, many tips that you can explain them, like eat cereals, breakfast cereals instead of cakes, instead of baked sweets that they can find in the groceries. You can provide them with yogurt and fruits instead of cakes or baked cakes. But of course, you probably know everything of this. And we are their model. So as for the physical activity, for exercise, as we said yesterday, if I exercise, they do sport, they do exercise. If I don't eat well, they will not eat well. So we have to be their model. And I think that we have to be their model also in the sport week. Because this is the occasion to explain to children how they should eat, that they should eat less and they should exercise more. At the end of my presentation, I have only a guideline on physical activity, very general, because I'm not, I have got a degree in biology, so I cannot explain you physical exercise in details. But in the same guidelines of nutrition, usually you find also the guidelines for physical activity, because sometimes if you don't eat as well as they suggest, physical activity may improve your health, of course. The suggestion for Americans from the Department of Health and Human Services of the USA is 60 minutes of physical activity per day. They suggest to include aerobic exercise, muscle strengthening exercise, bone strengthening exercise, and to use them differently at least 3 days a week. I should show you another video, but if I'm late, Filippo will then show another video.
5 minutes.
Yes, less than 5 minutes. Don't worry. It's just because we it is part of the project. Fabio.
We've got a really funny adventure for you to watch today. Are you feeling comfortably?
The wolf is in danger.
This is the video from another project funded from the European Commission.
Can be described as a beast. To tackle this worrying situation head-on, the Irish Food Board has decided to launch a major project aimed at teaching people to eat more healthily from a very young age.
Healthier place for you and me. They are the food dudes.
The Food Dude program is a healthy eating program that was developed by the University of Wales. There are 2 phases. The first phase of the Food Dudes program is an intervention phase in the schools.
Every day for the first 16 days, the children watch a program called Food Dudes. Superheroes to get their power from eating fruit and vegetables. Afterwards, it's back to the classroom to taste how delicious healthy produce can be. To encourage the children, they receive Food Dudes rewards.
The Food Dude program is great for the children in this class. They're getting to taste fruit and vegetables that they might have not tasted before, and they're developing a taste for the fruit and vegetables that maybe they didn't like.
I love oranges because they're nice and juicy.
I like apples,
Peppers, strawberries,
carrots,
lemons,
bananas,
apples, strawberries, grapes.
I didn't like any vegetables, but now I like some of them.
Phase 2 then is the follow-up phase, which is the maintenance phase, which takes place really when the emphasis moves to the home and for the parents to provide fruit and vegetables in the lunchboxes. And that phase is really unending because it's to establish healthy lifestyles, healthy habits with regard to eating fruit and vegetables throughout their time in school and beyond. The Food Dudes program and the rollout of it to 150 schools is part of a program that's been funded by the EU. It's costing €1.2 million, and 50% of that cost is being paid for by the EU Commission, 30% by industry, and 20% by the Irish government.
Making children aware of good food habits and teaching them to eat well is an absolute priority given the situation, which is disturbing to say the least. Indeed, with more than 200 million European adults and 14 million children classified as overweight or obese, Europe must take radical action against this phenomenon, which causes illnesses such as hypertension, diabetes, heart diseases, and some cancers. According to certain indicators, the consequences of obesity on the quality of people's lives can be as important as the consequences of tobacco. But when are people considered to be obese? By establishing a rapport between weight and height, you obtain a body mass index, or BMI. If this is equal to or higher than 25, the person is overweight. From 30 on, the person is said to be obese. But what actually causes obesity?
People get very confused about why people become obese. They say one group says it must be our physical activity, the other group says it's our food. Actually, it's both. It's very interesting that obesity was classified as a disease over 50 years ago by the World Health Organization. And they did that because it was obvious that it caused problems. And actually now it's become very, very clear indeed that obesity is one of the biggest killers in the world. The important thing to remember is you do not tackle the problem of obesity simply by telling people to eat less and exercise more. Everything in our environment has been reorganized to make sure, if possible, that I can become obese. So I need to change the way I live. And in terms of food, the biggest challenge is how do we make food less fatty, less sugary, and with less salt. The crisis in obesity and its health consequences are enormous, and we've got to do something about it.
As a reaction to this worrying situation, the European Commission launched a major consultation project in the European Union. Health professionals, the food industry, consumer organizations, everyone was able to give their opinion on the best way of fighting obesity. The conclusions of this consultation, called the Green Paper, have now been published.
The Green Paper posed all the questions, all the various possibilities, and invited responses and advice from all the stakeholders, whether these are member states, NGOs, industry, food industry, restaurants, everybody who has a role to play in this effort. We have the outcome now, and one would say that the result shows that everybody agrees that action needs to be taken. And of course, this action has to be of different forms and different areas. The form that will be taken will be from simple actions and initiatives to self-regulation approaches, and of course, if there's a need in areas where this is needed, we would even need to have some regulation dealing with very specific issues.
One of the key initiatives taken by the Commission in the fight against obesity was to create a European platform on diet, physical activity and health, which gathers representatives from all sectors, including the food industry, consumers, health professionals and fast food restaurants.
The platform was one attempt to bring all those involved together and discuss and agree to certain actions and initiatives. They will first of all say what they're doing to deal with this problem, and at the same time make commitments for specific actions, each player, each party in their own area and field. And this is the main requirement of the platform, that we want concrete commitments for concrete actions that will produce results. Maybe it was the first time that this kind of approach has taken place, and it has already shown impactful results, which are being evaluated now by the services myself.
Under the leadership of the European Commission, many members of the platform committed themselves to concrete actions, such as reducing amounts of sugar and salt in food, improving nutritional labeling on packages, pledging not to market directly to children, and promoting healthy lifestyles, especially targeted to the young. Like the successful Irish Food Do's program, the German project FeEL also concentrates on educating very young children about the benefits of healthy food habits and sport. Supported among others by the top football club FC Cologne, the project mainly promotes physical activity.
Es ist entstanden 2003, die Firma Intersnack und auch die CMA, die Deutsche Marketinggesellschaft für Agrarprodukte, wollte ein Sportprogramm für Schulen erstellen, damit die Kinder an Schulen zu mehr Sport motiviert werden. Und sie wandte sich an die Sporthochschule Köln, und die haben ein Projekt oder eben dieses Projekt Fit am Ball aufgestellt.
Lasting 90 minutes, this weekly activity consists of 3 elements: movement, food and relaxation. After a few warm-ups, the children play games involving strength, creativity, and of course football. Then the teacher brings up the subject of nutrition to explain the importance of eating well. The session ends with a relaxation exercise. Run initially in 25 schools in 2003, the Fit am Ball program has now been extended to 1,000 German schools.
Das Motto des Projektes Fit am Ball ist mehr Spaß an der Bewegung, am Sport, und das scheint auch bei den Kindern sehr gut anzukommen. Sie haben also wirklich viel Spaß beim Projekt selber und werden, denke ich, auch motiviert, weiterhin, also in der Freizeit auch weiterhin Sport zu treiben.
Zum Beispiel Kickboxen, Fußball, Schwimmen, Fahren, Fußball, Schwimmen und Laufen, Fit am Ball. Fit am Ball!
This is something that I would not like.
After widespread consultation with all the key players in Europe, the Commission can now clear the way to efficiently combat obesity on a European scale. It will continue, for example, to support projects like Food Do's and Fit am Ball to protect and improve the health of citizens, beginning with the youngest of them. The message is clear: eating well and doing some sport are the keys to a healthy, fulfilled life.
Because it gives you a longer time to live.
Damit man fit bleibt. It gives you vitamins.
Damit man fit bleibt.
It makes you more fit.
damit man fit, gesund und sportlich bleibt.
I showed you this video because there are many ideas of what they have done in the schools, and the introduction of vegetables you've seen and fruit in the school, and they explained why they should eat healthy. So I think you will find ideas on how to prepare the sport week from this material. Thank you for the attention.
The next speaker will be Johnny Padulo. He's my colleague at the eCampus University, and he's one of the most important lecturer in the sports science. He's a scientist that published more than 40 articles for years, so it's a real pleasure to have here, and we will speak about a new study that has been conducted in Italy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this kind of presentation, and I'm very happy to participate in this big center. And as introduction from my colleague Filippo Macaluso, I work in the campus university, and also split in Faculty of Kinesiology in Croatia. And I'm present and available to share several questions. And you can see my name is a social network to sharing my scientific knowledge. But now I am here in Palermo, in this nice center, very, very kind. So, in sport was calculated about 44 million of children participated in several sports events in USA in year. This is an interesting articles that showed the many popular children participating in several sports. But moreover, even if education and healthcare considered as the values of sport, the first reason for both sports dropout are injuries. Since 1978, several researchers investigated specific ways to decrease injuries and showed a significant injuries decrease in children training regularly with respect to control. In the last decade, several studies showed the relationship between training, quality of training, and injury risk in different age groups, and found an increased injury risk in soccer, particularly in team players, also in martial arts. Again, in several sports, the injury was related to the also motor ability, an example muscle strength, coordination, unbalanced muscle tendons, unstable joint, proprioceptive ability level. A recent longitudinal study performed on 40 schools was able to identify a decreased injury risk in children training pursuing a specific task with respect to an unspecific training. And FIFA show FIFA Center show this video. Nice. So, a simple research on Medline, you can see an example. try children injury as a specific word, you can see the trend increase during the years. An example, 139,000 articles, and increased in the last year. An example, 5,000 articles 1 year ago. Respect to the physical activity, children and cognitive. And slope increased in the last year. Also the number of total articles was decreased. Particularly 156 articles last year. Physical activity and performance school, I think, is the whole topic in the last 2 years. And last review article showed only 2 strong articles demonstrate the relationship between physical active and performance in school. Therefore, the simple question is, can sport help school performance? An interesting article showed on Nature demonstrate that the physical fitness improve also brain cognitive the brain activity and cognitive performance. In this figure, you can see the relationship by mathematics achievements and aerobic capacity, and reading achievements and aerobic capacity. Therefore, we performed a pilot study in Milano, in a little school near Milano, after approbation from a school manager, and we selected in this place as an inclusion criteria the last year in elementary school. We use the conceptual model to clarify disparity if the lifestyles improve their cognitive performance as well as performance score. The variable performed was BMI, citizenship, gender. Again, floor, home, in example, first floor, second floor, number of family members, and particularly number of family members practicing sport, the presence of the dog, again, walking the dog, using the lift, the floor, practicing sport, or number of sports discipline practiced, an example of sport, 2 sport, 3 sports, and the time spent for each week in physical activity, or alternatively weekly hours of sports practice. Time spent playing video games and time spent at TV. Calculate also the percentage, but again, and the performance school in Italian language, because in Italian is first language, mathematics, English, sciences, history, geography, technology, again. And finally, the motor ability, linear sprint, agility test, long jump, medicine, ball free throw. And the first result showed the high interclass correlation to show the high reliability of the measures for agility test, free ball, long jump, and sprint. While the mathematical models showed the estimated models was significant, and the lifestyle and the school performance was fitted. In these results, you can see the family context and the lifestyle, and the lifestyle, school performance, and finally social demographics and school performance. In this figure, the mathematical models showed the good relationship between the years of school practice, sport practice, family sport, and performance in school, in English, in Italian, and arts. Therefore, this mathematics model showed the first time in Italy the relationship, the training background, the last 4 years, and better performance in school. But this model could be useful to demonstrate also the inversely, an example, the better performance in school, no preconditioning to improve the performance in motor abilities. The take-home message is physical and cultural education together may train better young people for lifelong challenges, strong health, more effective education for better job perspectives. Thank you for your attention.
If someone has a question, sorry, I didn't ask also before for Valentina.
Valentina.
Okay, or
we can do it at the end of the section or just today.
I presume it's better every time if I ask, but do you have any question? No.
But of course, probably you will provide all the slides.
Yes.
Provide the slides to them as well.
There will be the video. We are recording for this.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Buongiorno. The next speaker is Azim Genchiz. I hope I pronounce it in the correct way. He's coming as a lecturer of the International Sports Study Association of the Turkey. Please, he will speak about healthy and physical activity. Thank you.
Hi, it is a pleasure to be here. I'd like to start with the little clip from European Union website.
This is the icon.
Part funded by the European Commission. Europe faces a demographic challenge. Each year the life expectancy in the old continent increases by 3 months. The number of people aged over 65 will double over the next 50 years. 2/3 of the 55 to 69-year-olds and about 3/4 of the over 70-year-olds only seldom or never exercise. This will put an enormous pressure on our healthcare systems, unless something changes.
Promoting active and healthy aging project, the PARTNER project, is focused on people between 55 and 65 years old. The project will run in 8 countries: Denmark, Finland, Germany, Greece, Portugal, Ireland, Hungary, and the UK. Through a structured and supervised exercise program, the aim of Europe Active is to simply convert currently inactive people into regular exercises at a level that is beneficial to their health.
Passa por ser mais social para eles, passa por ser uma forma de eles se preocupar, se sentirem bem durante a vida que elas são. É uma forma de estarem com pessoas e então aprenderem, mexerem-se, fazerem tudo e mais alguma coisa para no fundo se sentirem bem diariamente. Como uma grande saúde de pais que constantemente, principalmente todos mesmo todos que existem atenção voltada e a maior parte da população, possivelmente essa é uma das coisas que se vai notar logo, a nível da atenção arterial, bem como se todos a começar a sentir melhor e a saúde
Estes tais dois que eu gosto de ter, não gosto de ter outros, mas estas gosto.
Through the support of technology and the use of mindfulness, we'll be able to develop a methodology by measuring the physical activity levels during and after the project.
Vamos semear e certamente teremos que escolher uma educação assim que aproveita a educação comum.
Physical activity can help Europe's older generation to remain independent and maintain a good quality of life. This is what PAHA is all about.
So, there are many problems without physical activity. For example, 13 billion people have coronary heart disease. 1.5 million people suffer from heart attack. Also, they have hip structures.
This is for those who believe in a dream. For those who are not afraid to face the truth. For those who do not give up. We are here because we believe in a health.
So one of the main problems is being obese or overweight. It causes many problems, starting with high blood pressure. Because of physical inactivity, type 2 diabetes increases, hypertension, coronary heart disease, and other illnesses increases. And it is very costly, especially in the United States. They do many studies to overcome this issue, and to cure these illnesses, it is very costly. For example, 147 million per year medical cost for obese people in 2008, and per year each person spend around $1,500 for being obese. So death rate, mortality rate is higher in unfit people compared to fit people. If the BMI, body mass index, is normal, it is less chance of to be dead, to have mortality. If you are obese, it is higher than being normal BMI rate. There are more risk to be dead. People, when they are older, they tend to be leaner. So if it is normal, under normal range of BMI, they have higher risk of being dead. As you can see on the graph, this is the highest risk if it is under normal BMI. When you look at the graph, arteriosclerosis, it is a clot in the arteries. When you are not physically active, there is higher risk of having clot in your arteries. This is sedentary people, this is exercising people. The arteries are narrowing down, so blood doesn't go back to the heart. So problems starts after that, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and other issues start after having this clot in the arteries. If you have arteriosclerosis, inflammation starts, injury starts in your arteries, and it may cause cancer, diabetes, and other issues in your body. So,
atherosclerosis is a disease that affects the blood vessels called arteries, which carry blood to the organs of the body. Normal arteries allow blood to flow freely. However, these arteries can become hardened and narrowed by deposits called plaques. These plaques are made up of cholesterol and inflammatory materials. This disease process is called atherosclerosis, and it can occur in any artery in your body. Atherosclerotic plaques build up over time and can decrease the amount of blood flow to the area the artery supplies. Atherosclerosis can begin at a young age, even though it may not cause problems until years later. Atherosclerosis increases the risk of kidney failure, heart disease, and stroke.
So, because of physical inactivity, you have a high chance of having arteriosclerosis. So, after that, there are many problems start: high blood pressure, cancers, cardiovascular illnesses. And this is the little clip, short clip, how you deal with it, about how do you deal.
Hi, I'm Ashley Gass, strength and conditioning specialist at brilliantathlete.com. So just how do you reduce cellulite in the butt? List of materials, good exercise habits, great eating habits. Well, it's no different than reducing body fat. I'm going to call it body fat, that's what it is. Anywhere else. Women might accrue it a bit more than men, just possibly some hormonal influence, but it really comes down to improving your diet, eating properly, and strength training, okay? Improving your diet means cutting out all the processed packaged foods, eliminating and reducing caffeine beverages like Red Bulls, caffeine, all your juices, fruit juices that you don't make yourself, get those out of your diet, drink water instead, and increase your intake of vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats. So nutritionally, that'll take care of it. For a very complete guide on nutrition and how to take yourself from A to Z, in a very intelligent, safe manner, go to brilliantathlete.com and pick up a copy of Precision Nutrition. It'll help you out with everything you need to know. And then second of all, you've got to start weight training. Emphasize movements like lunges, squats, deadlifts, single leg squats, all of the good lower body training movements that will help build muscle tone, lower body, and you've got to replace what's there, body health, muscle tone, bottom line. So again, decreasing body fat or cellulite in your butt comes down to better nutritional habits, very good training habits, repeated for a long period of time. And give yourself 6 months to a year, you'll have a new body. Hopefully that helps. Thanks, I'm Ashley Gass with brilliantathlete.com.
So arteriosclerosis, narrowing down of the arteries due to the buildup of plaque. So when you narrow down your arteries, less blood goes to the heart. So heart contracts, doesn't contract well, so it doesn't pump well. It doesn't send the muscles and other parts of the body enough blood. When you don't have enough blood, you cannot remove substances. It's not good for body. You have to remove some substances. You cannot remove it. You cannot remove your temperature. You cannot have enough oxygen, and you have thermoregulatory, metabolic, and cardiovascular stress. So the problem starts after that. You have many issues after that. So coronary artery disease, in the arteriosclerosis in the coronary arteries, not in regular arteries, the arteries in the heart. When you have problem narrowing down in your coronary arteries, you can have heart attack. You can have stroke. So when you have arteriosclerosis in coronary arteries, you have less blood comes to the heart. So when there is a deficiency in blood, you can have myocardial infarction, heart attack, due to the less blood in the heart, in coronary arteries. So sedentary lifestyle is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. According to American Heart Association, American College of Medicine, in many organizations, it's the #1 risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So there are two major factors having you cardiovascular problems. One is obesity. Being obese, it means you are not having physical activity, you are not having good diet. Second factor is cigarette smoking. Two major factors, you have cardiovascular disease. When you do diet only, you can decrease body fat in the least amount. But when you exercise, you can reduce more. When you combine exercise and diet, you can decrease more fat. Also, you can have more lean body, muscles, when you do exercise and combination with diet. When there is a deficiency in physical inactivity, you can have coronary heart disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cancer, stress, anxiety, osteoporosis, especially in women, and low back pain, and also other many problems. These are the main ones. Exercise helps to prevent being obese, a major risk factor for several types of cancer. Being obese is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease, as I said before. Exercise enhances immune function, activates antioxidant enzymes that protect cells from free radical damage. Also, recent studies prove that it is exercise is effective as antidepressant medication for the treatment of depression. Exercise reduces health problems, making you feel better, helps you sleep better, also controls your weight and enhances your self-esteem. It has also short-term benefits. It improves your memory, improves intellectual function, it improves your creativity. It has also long-term benefits. You lose your function when you get older, so age-related decline in the function decreases, especially in mental function and loss of short-term memory. This is the major thing exercise do. It strengthens your heart. When your heart is strong, when your heart works efficiently, there are less stress in your body because you have more blood goes to your organs. Also, it lowers your resting heart rate, lower blood pressure, improves cholesterol levels, reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Another major problem for not being active because of being obese, muscles has become more resistant to use insulin. But when you're active, you're more sensitive to insulin, you can use better. You can use insulin better. So there are less stress. When you're active, you will build muscles, you use the foods very efficiently, you digest the food very efficiently, and your liver do less work to break down the glucose. And exercise is everywhere. You can do it at work. You can go by walking to the work. Anytime, in any way, we should take advantage to do exercise and physical activity. Not everybody can do physical activity, especially cardiovascular disease with family history, cancer, and other serious illnesses. They have higher risk of illnesses. Also, people over 80 years old, they have higher risk. And people with the current diseases like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and muscle and joint problems, they should see doctor before starting the physical activity. They should do risk stratification before starting exercise. And there is a strategy for that created by American College of Sport Medicine. How you start, what should be your blood pressure range, and etc. And general exercises, aerobic activity, strengthening your heart and helps your cardiovascular system and other mechanisms. Strength training, it makes you strong. Flexibility training, they are the major activities for the physical activity. There are types of aerobic activities: walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, basketball, soccer, jumping rope. Also indoor activities: treadmill, stair climbing, stationary bike, elliptical trainer, rowing machine, aerobics, boxing. As far as it takes longer duration and slow intensity, it is an aerobic activity. It's called aerobic activity. It is not limited to these. Even you can create activities yourself. You can also do strength training. I think most of you are familiar to this. Different organizations have different suggestions for minimum amount of exercise. For example, American College of Medicine suggests as minimum 3 days aerobic activity and 2 days per week strength training, and 3 to 5 days per week flexibility training. They should be at least 30 to 60 minutes total of exercise when you combine these. But different organizations have different suggestions, but similar to this. Timing of the exercise depends on you, but it is better to do the same time every day. It is not suggested to eat before 2 hours. And when you are sick, especially if you have fever, you shouldn't exercise. Exercise for everyone. Some cultures, women don't exercise because of public pressure. It is not right. Everybody can exercise, especially disabled people. They should have different exercise program, but they should exercise too. People with cardiac disease, type 2 diabetes, they should advise to exercise physiologists to have their special program, because they have to go through the exercise testing before they start the exercise program. Here's the strategy to formula to be healthy. Access to healthy food should be increased. Change in social norms, like in some cultures, women do not exercise, so that norm should be changed. There must be other norms should be changed. Decrease access to unhealthy food. First, there are processed foods. We should decrease to use processed foods. Also increase access to physical activity. So when we do this, we can have healthier eating and more physical activity. Then we can have lower rates of obesity and other chronic diseases. Thank you so much.
The last speaker of this session is Dr. Morici. He's a physiologist, sport physiologist at the University of Palermo. The only problem is that today is not present because he's a master swimmer and is in Rome for the Italian championship. So we will record the video of his presentation and we are showing to you.
Asthma is very serious. The wheezing sound when we breathe, chest tightness, shortness of breath, and coughing. The coughing often occurs at night or early in the morning. Asthma affects people of all ages, but it most often starts during childhood, before the age of 5. The prevalence of asthma in the European Union is 8.2% in adults and 9.4% in children. Asthma is the most common chronic disease of childhood. Many things can cause asthma, including allergens, the mold, pollen, animals, irritants, cigarette smokes, air pollution, medicines such as aspirin or other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and non-selective beta blockers, sulfites in food and drinks, weather, good air, change in weather, exercise, infection such as flu and common cold. Asthma is local. Even when you feel fine, you still have the disease, and it can flare up at any time. However, for most children and adults, asthma can be controlled throughout life with appropriate diagnosis, education, and treatment. There are few, if any, symptoms. They can lead normal, active lives and sleep through the night without interruption or harm. Once a child's asthma is controlled, usually with the help of proper medications, exercise should become part of his or her daily activities. Children with asthma certainly can and do excel in athletics. Many athletes have asthma. If an asthma action plan instructs the child to take medicine before exercising, remind the child to do so. This may include short-acting and long-acting medicines. Short-acting or quick-relief medicines are taken 10 to 15 minutes before exercise. Can help you up to 4 hours. Long-acting inhaled medicines are used at least 30 minutes before exercise.
last up to 12 hours, and children can take long-acting medicines before school, and they will have it for the whole day. Asthmatics are more likely sedentary lifestyles related to fear of exercise-induced problems, physical barriers such as resting mental obstruction, and parental beliefs about exercise harming their children. Research strongly suggests that varying type of aerobic exercise, swimming, running, basketball, cycling, can improve physical fitness status and respiratory function. Decreased asthma symptoms, decreased medication use, decreased hospitalization and physician visits, increased self-management, improved school and work attendance, and increased emotional well-being in asthmatic across all degrees of asthmatic severity. The incidence of bronchospasm and the possibility of asthma exacerbation after vigorous exercise-induced asthma prevents many children from participating in physical fit activities. The terms exercise-induced asthma and exercise-induced bronchoconstriction are often used interchangeably to describe symptoms of asthma such as cough, wheeze, or dyspnea provoked by vigorous physical activity. However, these can be considered two separate entities that should be treated as such. Exercise-induced asthma describes patients who have underlying asthma and exercise is a trigger that exacerbates their asthma. Exercise-induced bronchoconstriction describes patients who do not have a history of asthma and who have bronchospasm associated with only exercise. It has been claimed that up to 75% of asthmatic subjects without treatment may experience an asthma attack provoked by exercise. But also, otherwise, healthy individuals without the diagnosis of asthma, more than 10% may experience a significant reduction in lung function after heavy exercise. Whereas the physiological response to exercise usually results in a slightly bronchodilation in population-based studies, individuals without any asthma diagnosis may also suffer from exercise-induced bronchoconstriction. Exercise-induced asthma usually occurs during vigorous physical activity or several minutes after. Research reached its peak 5 to 10 minutes after cessation of activity and resolves in another 20 to 30 minutes. Because of the previously stated concerns regarding the differentiation between exercise-induced bronchoconstriction and exercise-induced asthma, it is difficult to determine how many others are affected by exercise-induced bronchoconstriction. Current literature suggests that the prevalence of exercise-induced bronchoconstriction is higher in elite athletes than in general population, with a reported prevalence of up to 22.8% in summer sports and even higher, up to 54.8% in winter sports, and that it occurs daily between sexes at any age. Exercise-induced bronchoconstriction can be detected in 41 of people with a history of allergic rhinitis. A minimum of 5-8 minutes continuous high-intensity effort is required to develop an exercise-induced bronchoconstriction response. Exercise-induced bronchoconstriction is usually observed 2 to 10 minutes after a exercise, and not during maximum exercise intensity. Exercise challenge tests performed in laboratory, treadmill or liver-based tests, or field setting are effective methods for diagnosis then using exercise-induced bronchoconstriction or exercise-induced asthma. But may result in false negatives if the exercise stimulus is not intense enough. Spirometry should initially be done at rest, then after exercising to establish baseline and the comparison test. The suggested exercise challenge should be performed for 8 minutes. Testing conditions should allow the athlete to reach over 90% of peak heart rate at 2 minutes and maintain this level for another 6 minutes. These parameters allow most athletes to achieve an adequate associated ventilation rate. Over 85% maximum voluntary ventilation. Maximum voluntary ventilation is the maximum volume of gas that a person can inhale and exhale by voluntary effort per minute by breathing as quickly and deeply as possible. For highly fit or elite athletes, peak heart rates closer to 25% may be required. The response to an exercise challenge is considered positive when there is a decrease in forced expiratory volume of 10% or more compared to baseline. The post-exercise FeEL should be done immediately after exercise. Some experts recommend post-exercise spirometry at 5, 10, 15 and 30 minutes. The International Olympic Committee recommends that FeEL be measured at least 3 minutes after the challenge, and it accepts the 10 decline in FeEL as an indication for a better to agonist. The results should be sustained over 5 minutes to be consistent with exercise-induced bronchoconstriction. Asthma is well controlled if you have symptoms of no more than 2 days a week, and the symptoms don't wake you from sleep more than 1 or 2 nights a month. You can do all your normal activities. You can take quick relief medicines no more than 2 days a week. You have no more than 1 asthma attack a year that requires you to take corticosteroids per month. Your peak flow doesn't drop below 80% of your personal best number. Use a peak flow meter. The small handheld device shows how well air moves out of your lungs. You blow into the device and it gives you a score, or peak flow number. Your score shows how well your lungs are working at the time of the test. What should most people with asthma be able to do? Be active without having asthma symptoms. This includes participating in physical activity and sports. Sleep through the night without having asthma symptoms. Prevent asthma episodes. Have the best possible lung function. Good peak flow number. Almost every child and adult with asthma can benefit from sports and physical activity. Also, asthma should not prevent young athletes from enjoying a full athletic career. It is difficult to say whether some types of sports are more asthma-friendly than others because there is too little scientific research in this area. People with asthma who do outdoor sports need to be aware that cold and dry air is more likely to trigger exercise-induced asthma. This is one of the main reasons why asthma attacks are more common during, for example, winter sports than when swimming, where the air is warm and moist. Whatever type of sport you do, it is a good idea to increase intensity step by step. Starting slowly and warming up properly before strenuous physical activities is the right approach. If you have not been working out much, you could start out with endurance sport like walking, swimming. The main thing is that you enjoy whatever you do and it makes you feel good. Asthmatic subjects should not avoid physical exercise, since evidence is accumulating for better disease control after aerobic training. Aerobic training in 1000 can increase fitness and measured by peak VO2 and anaerobic threshold, as well as improving the ventilatory capacity and reducing dyspnea associated with exertion. Inasmuch the benefits will relate to improvements in physical fitness, general health benefits, rather than in lung function specifically. Too much aerobic exercise may be detrimental in the general population, and even more risky in the elite adult population, which shows a significant respiratory impairment associated with intense exercise. The respiratory function in elite adults might return to normal after the eruption of competitive activity, but this topic needs further studies. The first thing to do to prevent exercise-induced asthma is to make sure that the asthma unrelated to exercise is well controlled. For many children, this means the regular use of long-term controlled medicines, inhaled corticosteroids, and use of quick relief or rescue medicines, inhaled short-acting beta-blockers before exercise. Action to consider: long warm-up and cool-down periods with light exercise and stretching. When exercising in the cold, rub and sharp or mask around the face to warm up and humidify the air. Monitor the environment for potential allergens or irritants. Increase fitness level. Exercise-induced asthma symptoms improve as fitness improves. Try different sports across pain. Warning: if a child still has symptoms, even with treatment, the exercise goal should be stopped. Asthma can be life-threatening if the adult tries to play through the symptoms. Once the symptoms are controlled, the child can return to exercise. So kids, don't let asthma take your fun away.
The first morning session is done. We are organizing a coffee break upstairs. So please move.
Messi in pausa. Lasciala in pausa.